I have some book mail, so I thought I would unbox it here. I will say first off, thank you to my beautiful, lovely mother who let me use the last of her Amazon gift card to get some new books. These are books that I've already read. I actually listened to them on Audible, but of course I needed to have physical copies of them. So I'm super excited to have them. So let me get them unboxed and show you. So in a surprise to no one, they are Taubauer books. So the first one is Hush, and if you don't know anything about Hush, in this you follow federal judge Tom Brewer and the U.S. Marshal assigned to him, Mike, and they fall in love. But first, a lot of things start happening. Tom Brewer has been closeted for many years. He came up through law school during the AIDS epidemic, and due to a very shitty professor has basically closeted himself. He is now at a point in his career where he's like, I can actually be out and open, hence his relationship with Mike starts. Before they can be basically come forward about their relationship, there's an attempted assassination on the Russian president, and this turns into a whole legal court case with the attempted assassin. And obviously there's the background piece that this is on a world view basically, and Russia is threatening war if this court case does not go through correctly. So Tom Brewer is basically thrust into the spotlight, and there's a lot of other things that are going on, but that is Hush. It is amazing. I on the edge of my seat the whole time. You will think you know who is going to betray them, who the bad guys are, and I'm going to tell you, you will be wrong, because I thought I knew. I was like dead set. I even texted my mom and I was like, this is the person who did it. And then I had to text her later and I was like, well, I was completely wrong. So absolutely love Hush. It's perfect if you like kind of like gritty crime, and then things like that. And also you have the beautiful romance of Tom and Mike in this. Now let's talk about the next one, which is Whisper by Taubauer. Now Hush and Whisper are in the same world. We see a lot of the overlapping characters. This book, see how big this is. I cried through like 90% in this book, and I am talking like at times I was like ugly sobbing in this book. I did also really have to take some steps away just because it does hit some pretty heavy topics. So this book follows Chris, who is a CIA agent. He is out, he is open. Unfortunately, this is a time when it's not really, he's kind of disrespected a lot because of his queerness. This book literally opens up right during 9/11. Like the towers have been hit, we are opening with it. Chris is basically kind of like the CIA's like go-to person for anything like Arabic, Afghanistan. Like he knows all the culture, he knows the language, he is like their person. So he is tasked to go to Afghanistan, and he is to basically get in touch with this kind of group that's there, and to really try to get this group to help them find bin Laden. When he gets there, there is a group of special forces, and one of them is David. Now David is Arab American, and he is really kind of struggling now in this post 9/11 world where he's too Arabic for the US, but he's too American for the Arab nations. So he is really struggling with kind of like his identity and his place in this massive war. But anyways, this book goes over I think like over 10 years, I think like 15-ish type years. And we follow them as they, grow closer, they fall in love. There is a moment when we lose David, and they are separated for 10 years. That just from reading the description. Like I said, it is really hard to read this book at certain points. We do see the torture of a prisoner in this, and it's pretty graphic. We also just see a lot of heartbreak, a lot of the war, and the kind of effects of the war in 9/11 and things like that. So it is not an easy book. I recommend it because I think it was absolutely amazing, and I love Taubauer's books, but I would kind of really recommend being in a really good headspace. I actually really did wait until I was in a good headspace to get into this book, just because I knew how dark and deep it could go. But I do think you will absolutely enjoy it if you are, again, looking for a really good, gritty, heartbreaking, angsty story. And it does end in a happily ever after, so I will tell you that. So again, thanks Mom for letting me use your Amazon gift card so I could get 2 new books for my shelf and add to my Taubauer collection.